Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hamblen Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale and Josh Prophet. Josh, good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful day out there in Cake Land.
It is. It's
sunny. Hey, I'm a little taller than you. You got to bring that chair up.
Well, maybe just set up.
Oh, maybe set up.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you set
I'll
up.
just sit up.
All right. Hey, it's a call-in show, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything automobile racing world. We want to talk about that too. Take your calls and we get a great price package about over $150 for each and every car. Sorry, my nose is itching bad. Why? I don't know, but it is allergy season, I guess.
'Tis the season. All that dirt probably flying around.
Well, there was a little dirt flying around last night, so that was kind of fun too. We'll get to talking about that here in a little bit too. But Josh, as always, for each and every caller, what they call in for and what they get for each question on the air.
Okay.
Is what?
So we're gonna mail it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hamblen Ford. We're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on that vehicle while it's here. Check over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on it. You'll get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, let's get the phones ringing. That number comes right to the front desk. Tell the girls you want to get patched in the podcast. We'll get you on the air with your question or comment, whatever it might be. And again, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything you don't understand, love to hear from you. Anyway, Josh, got a story for you.
Okay.
Just yesterday, over at Salt City Racing, got ready to fire up one of the water trucks, and guess what? Dead. Wouldn't start. So, wouldn't start. Deader in the door now. So I headed over to a local parts store and to pick up a pair of jumper cables. And as I'm walking into the parts store, guess what I see?
I'm going to guess somebody's scanning something.
There you go. Yeah. Guys walking out with a scanner. So I thought, oh, no. So I head over to pick up my jumper cables. And by that time that I've selected which one I wanted, because I had to pick between, I started deciding I was going to get one of those power packs. So I just, but I knew that wasn't going to work trying to jump one of these big water trucks. So I got the number 2 gauge jumper cables and got them picked up, got around to the counter. And then he was over there at the counter with her explaining this code. And the code was a lean bank 1.
Okay.
And you know how vague that can be, right?
I can think of instantly in my mind several components that potentially could be the possible cause of that thing.
Now, so he went through and he plugged the scanner into the computer, his computer he had there, and pulled up the code and just starts reading off all the possibilities that it could be. But what I did finally, I was cringing every time I heard him talk what he was saying, because I was just ready for him to start saying, well, let's just try this part or try this part or try this part or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, it went anywhere from an injector, a mass airflow sensor, a throttle position sensor.
I'm sure oxygen sensor was probably
oxygen
on
sensor, intake leak, all kinds of stuff. So I was ready for him to start saying, hey, let's take and the most probable cause of this particular code. I don't remember. I heard the code, but I don't remember what it was, P10 something. And I was ready for him to say, here's the most probable. Let's take that part and try it. And that's what I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And you know what he did? He said, you know what? I don't feel comfortable telling you what you need to do. You need to take this to repair shop and have some further diagnosis done.
Very good.
I almost want to go up and shake the guy's hand, but there's a long line and everything else like that too. But that reading codes is just a example of a sample of what's happening in your car. You still got to have a trouble tree to come down and work through that situation. But I'm going to tell you though, I bet if it was a code that actually described a code like a mass airflow or an oxygen sensor, I guarantee he would have sold him that part.
Yeah.
I got lucky and that might have fixed it. But again, it might not have fixed it either.
Yeah, if it would have been a component directive part, I can understand that.
Yeah, exactly. So we walked out of there and Nick and Alan looked at me and says, we could see you shaking, Phil. I said, well, I was. But I did have to commend the guy at the end. He finally said, you know what, you need to get this stuff repair shop. He did print everything off for her, handed her all the stuff, and out the door she went, and she walked out about the same time we did too. But as that car pulled away, okay, it was missing so bad. It was crazy. Okay, so bad. So then as she walked, I'm going to tell you, I tried to get a hold of her to tell her what she really needed to do with that car, but I couldn't get a hold, she's too far in front of me or whatever, but I could hear the car going.
Yeah.
And I promise you it had to have a check engine light flashing. And we all know from this show, if you've been listening, if the check engine light is flashing, do not drive it any further.
Yeah. You got to stop.
Because he's doing some very detrimental damage to other components and everything else. So the engine, the transmission, converters, all kind of stuff.
Well, it's just going to be more expensive, right?
Yeah.
In the long run.
But my next question would be is how long has she been driving that thing with the light on to get it to that point and that extent of the situation too. So that's my that's my story for today of a actual facts of what you see happening there. And everybody, if it was that easy to fix your cars, we wouldn't have all these trained technicians back there and spend the thousands of dollars we do on tools, training, and keeping these guys up to date and everything else from that part too. So
yeah, that's honestly, I didn't think that's where that story was going to head. So
no, I didn't. I tell you, I thought he was really going to try to sell her a mass airflow sensor because that's he kept hitting on that, hitting on that. And I do think like I said, it was a Vaco Bank One lean.
Mm-hmm.
I did remember hearing that. So I think it was a P101 or I can't remember what code it was, but I was ready for him to do that, to say, okay, let's start here. Let's see if this fixes it. But I can promise you after I hear that thing leaving there, it's got a big bad mess somewhere.
There's something going on with it.
No, mass airflow sensor was not going to fix that car.
Well, and almost on at least once or twice a week, we get into situations of that people are either trying to do something themselves or have a technician that they know or a mechanic that they know trying to work on something. And, you get we've tried this, and this. I mean, I can think of one that happened just yesterday on a popping noise. And I mean, the list, we did struts, we've done control arms, we've done sway bar end links, we've done, the sway bar bushings. It was pretty long as to what the customer has tried in another route of avenue. And from my perspective is like, I'm not sure. So initially maybe you're trying to save some money, I guess, but I think of all the headache that you've been through, the times back and forth to the parts department, to get those components, the amount of effort that's been put on putting the wrong parts on there. Like, I just don't understand how you're heading that situation, so.
Yep. All right. Anyway, just get the phones ringing 316-462-3673 from that part. So anyway, Ryan Green, good morning. Braden Stoner, hey, thanks for the beautiful track last night. Yeah, we got a track crew over there at Salt City that did a great job on that part too. And Daryl, I check all the things some way with tire sender. Daryl, not sure what you're saying there, buddy, but maybe we can get some more clarification. All right, Daryl, let's call in the show. Let's talk about what you're talking about. 316-462-3673. So anyway, I guess we can switch gears to Salt City. We had a great race last night. We had ASCS sprint cars over there. Those guys put on a great show. It was a great full car field. And then we had our stock cars, which has been our best class over there all year long. That's why we did a 2-day show with those guys. So
and remember again, so like no points on any of this, right?
No points. The ASCS is points.
Okay.
This is their national point series and stuff too. But the stock cars this is a fun race.
Yeah.
Just to go out and have some fun and that sort of thing. So last night with the stock cars, we did some heat races, and then we did 2 A qualifiers and locked in the top 8 cars for tonight for the A main that we're going to have here after the ASCS races. I don't know. We might run the stock cars first. We haven't decided exactly how we're going to do it from that part, but had some great races last night. The ASCS put on a great show. Whit Gastineau, I guess is how you would say, won the race, but him and Blake Hahn took off, and they were having a heck of a race up front there. Got into lap traffic and was trying to pass. And I talked to Whit after the race. I said, he couldn't get around that lap car. And I said, you didn't feel comfortable going high? He says, I just I didn't want to look like a fool and get up there and lose it. And I said, I get it. But I
yeah.
said, he said, I just didn't have the confidence to get there. But then he got lucky and got a caution.
Oh, gotcha.
So it went back through, and those guys still took off and had a hell of a race between the two of them and stuff.
Yeah, just looking at your leaderboard, you were down to, I don't know, 5th or 6th before you even got anybody with Kansas in there.
Oh, yeah. These guys have traveled all over. Yeah, you
That's
got
awesome.
Whit Gascon out of Moore, Oklahoma, Blake Hans, Sepulka, Oklahoma. Now, he's related to the guy, the Hans that have the Chili Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And then you got Sam Happerter Jr. out of Texas, Matt Covington out of Glenpool, Oklahoma. 5th was Austin Gossel out of Fort Collins. And now we finally get to 6th place with Jason Martin out of Liberal, Kansas. And then, of course, Zach Blurton out of Quinter, Kansas. And Zach Blurton won it last year, so we'll see what he can do tonight from that part, too. So a great field of cars from that part. Brady Baker coming out of Arkansas, and then Landon Britt out of Tennessee. And then, of course, Jordan Knight out of Wright, Kansas, which I call him out of Dodge City because he races a lot with us at Dodge City. Jeremy Campbell, our famous Wichita guy, finished 12th. And then Terry Esom out of Broken, Oklahoma. And then Jesse Pate out of Auburn, Kansas. And so on and on down through there from that part. So ended up having 21 cars, which is a great field of cars for those cars. And it still amazes me how good those cars sound, especially coming under the grandstand with that roof on there, where they echo off that building and stuff too. So great fun and time there. The stock cars, we had those 2A features. And the first qualifier, Chase Reimer it was really crazy. It had a great race between him and John Allen for first and second, up there back and forth leading. And Jace just held him off very good. So I thought Johnny was going to get him, but he didn't. And Jace just held him back there and did a great job. Ronnie Schweizer come in 3rd, Scott Millard, and then Jared Reimer, his dad, finished in the top 5 of the first qualifier.
So one out of a hometown crowd then.
Yeah. Second one, Chris Pitts out of Hutch. He kind of dominated the field pretty good.
Really?
Braden Stoner tried to get up in there, try to get him on the inside and stuff, but did a good job. Mike Petersilly out of Hoisington. And again, Mike Petersilly was our track champion this year. Tanner Tile out of Hutch, and then Clint Smith finished out the top 5 of the second qualifier. So had a great field of cars, had a great racetrack. I can't thank these guys in the track prep enough for taking care of all the track prep and everything we did, but they had a fantastic track last night. And I looked at all the tires, and not one stock car had any. You couldn't even see any wear on the stock car tires. Of course, the sprint cars and what much pressures they put on that racetrack, spoiler and stuff. Still, the tires look very, very good from that part. I talked to all top 3 of all of them, and they were all excited. And everybody's excited for tonight. It's going to be another fun race. So if you need something to do, please come over to the fairgrounds and jump on there and watch these ASCS 360 cars go. They're so fun.
How many laps was features?
20. It's going to be more tonight. I think we're going to go 30 tonight on the ASCS. And then we will determine the stock car laps by what ASCS is going to determine what they want to have.
Based on the track.
Based on the track and how all that stuff. So I know the guys are probably over there right now prepping the track, getting things ready to go. Nick and I and Alan will head back over here this morning sometime and make sure everything else is ready to go and stuff. So please come over to the Kansas State Fairgrounds as the last race of the year. I can't believe we're saying that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy. We're already done. It seemed like we just got started, and here it is at the end, finishing out the season and stuff too. So get over to the fairgrounds tonight. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of stuff. And come out and after the race is over, come over and meet the driver and stuff. They're all friendly, all great. Love to see you from that part too. So
now as a racer, do you do anything different when it's a points race versus a non-points race as far as like any type of experimental?
Well, here I'm going to go into a couple things on the stock cars that I noticed myself.
Okay.
And again, the rules that Nick and I put out there, we're combining the 81 Speedway rules versus the IMCA rules and kind of combining it. But our rule was no spoiler. 81 Speedway can run a spoiler. We said no spoilers to make it even.
Okay.
USRA rules, you can run a 4-barrel. We said no, just a 2-barrel carburetor.
Okay.
And we told everybody it had to be a 500 CFM or smaller carburetor, nothing any bigger. And we have a no-go gauge to measure that. We did have to take one guy had to do a little altercation, and he had to do this little mishap on his carburetor, but that's okay. But everybody else passed on the no-go gauge we had, which is good. We told them they could run either tire, an American Racer or a Hoosier. And then all we needed to have was 2950 on the weight, and that's all he's going to tack, and let's go. So it was cool. What I saw, the most relevant thing that I saw was a couple of guys actually took their rear bumper off.
Really?
So the air could just go through the car so much better. Seen a couple of the guys actually drill some, probably, I would guess, I didn't get up that close to it, some 2-inch holes all through that bumper. Kept it on there, but you drilled a whole bunch of holes through it. So it's some experimental stuff. I didn't talk to the guys about that to say, hey, what you see, what you got. But I'm sure there were some guys trying some stuff too, just to see how much faster they go. And I will tell you, talking about the tires from the American Racer to Hoosier is a 50-50 on the top spots anyway, from the Hoosier to the American Racers and stuff. And so again, it's how you got your car set up for which tire, what you're going to do.
When you do a mixture like that, so it kind of gives you a couple things, right? It gives you maybe some competition that you otherwise haven't run against, but then also you have the potential of having a standout of maybe what works better when you see your leader guys all having the same size, same tire, same whatever, for sure.
Well, and I'll go to that for a little bit too. If we had a heavier track, which tire would have performed better? If we'd had a dry slick track, which tire would have performed better? But we had a good, nice, even track. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't dry slick either. The track still had moisture in it after the race was over. I drove around the racetrack after the races were over. So who knows if the track would have went one way or went the other way, or the stock cars ran after the sprint cars. So, the sprint cars could have really wore the racetrack out. They didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of black going into 3 and going into 1, but other than that, the track they did a great job. Kyler and his crew over there, Jason and take care of that track and made it phenomenal. I mean, they did a great job with it. We had a lot of moisture in that track. We went over there Wednesday and I dug down 4 inches in that track and still got moisture. So that was huge. We put just a little bit of water on, not a lot of water at all, throughout yesterday and stuff too. So
yeah, I would say this season in general, as far as racing goes, again, don't know this, but just more of an assumption, is probably you've used the least amount of water, in the sense that Mother Nature is really.
Mother Nature did us a great job of taking care of us and making us have less water truck time. It's kind of like the guys I called APAC, who helps us with water trucks, and along with our 2 water trucks too. And then they said, you really need a water truck that early? Because I needed it on Wednesday. I said, well, hey guys, I hate to tell you, I need it more for a packer than I need it to haul water.
Than the actual water portion of it.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, let's get the phones. We're getting 316-462-3673. Anything alien car, tires, brakes, batteries. You want to talk about Salt City Racing or anything in the racing world? We don't care. We'd love to hear from you and get your great calls coming up through here from that part. So anyway, Daryl, still would love to hear from you. Manhattan here. Not sure what Daryl's got going on there from that part either. So we'll get some questions. Delbert, how's everything down in Oklahoma?
Said he just got back from vacation is what he said.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Wonder where Daryl went. Wonder where Delbert went.
Oh.
Bill Lindsay, good morning. And so anyway, Josh, what other exciting stuff's been happening in the shop? I can't believe it's already October.
Yeah, definitely been extremely busy back there. Trying to schedule and coordinate everybody and get everybody in, coming off the tire sales, another thing that was very huge for us. And I think we're still trying to play catch up on getting, the people that we did the multi-point inspections on over that time that maybe had additional items that needed to be taken care of, and getting them back in as well has been huge. And it's just been very busy back there, which is a good thing. But also like being able to coordinate and getting people going and making sure that we're meeting the expectation of the customers, but then also prioritizing things so that we allow for when something happens, right? When something breaks, to be able to get people taken care of as well. Like you said, had a couple of different instances this week again of people that just are kind of putting multiple parts on things, trying to figure them out. And then for me, the not understanding the part of I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then now it's like, okay, hold on, and I understand, especially when we're backed up, we're maybe a week or 2 backed up, and somebody having the need to have something done right now, but when you go through all that headache, it's like, okay, well, could we not have just coordinated this to get it taken care of when we were able to get to it? And think of the less headache that you would have had in doing that. And where I guess I'm going with that is just the complexity of these things anymore. You know, the person at home working in their garage, it's almost impossible. Like, I don't know how you would have so many things working against you. It's almost impossible to be able to do that, you know?
100% on that part. You know, the way these cars have gotten, and like you said, the technology that's in them, the computers that are in them. I mean, I remember back in mid '80s when they came out with one computer, and it was controlling about 10% of a carburetor to help keep emissions where they needed to be and that sort of thing. And now we got computers controlling everything.
Well, and you can even let's dumb it down to the most simplest of repairs now anymore. You know, let's say it's something maybe extremely obvious as far as some type of mechanical repair, whatever that is, steering, suspension, you know, something along those lines. But you pull up a workshop manual anymore, and the number of like one-time use components that go along with that, you know, the engineering and designs that go into the bolts that are used for these components, and how they operate, the torque specifications, the you
Yeah.
know, just the complexity of that side of it. And I think of all the repairs that potentially could get done, and yeah, it works for you know, I can think of an instance now that I got involved with in another shop, putting timing components on an engine, you know. And now that is a pretty intrusive job, but if you go back and pull the workshop manual, and the list of one-time use components on that thing is extremely lengthy. And one of those bolts that is a one-time use bolt is the torque crankshaft bolt that holds the crankshaft pulley on, and it also you know, applies tension to the timing chain set on it. And we had one that came in that somebody else had put on, and they didn't replace that torque to yield bolt, and it had been months down the road from when the repair was made, but that bolt gave way,
Couldn't hold the torque.
and then allowed that motor to come out of time. And the damage that it did additionally, like, yeah, it worked great for a couple months, but also, like, now the thousands of dollars that you had to go back in and um, pay additionally because, you know, the procedure wasn't followed, or and it wasn't that I don't think anybody did it intentionally, or they just didn't know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's got to be. That goes back to, you can't to, like I said back in my day, if you had a shop menu, you know what you're doing today. If you don't have your computer out, looking up every possible repair, reading that flow chart, reading that procedure on how to what to replace and how to replace it, you're out of luck. And you know, it takes dollars to buy that. To buy the information, I would call it, the shop manuals today that are online, to have the right information to do that job correctly. Even though you got a very smart technician doing the job correctly, thinks he's doing it okay. I mean, back in my day, man, we reused those bolts over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not today with the torque yield bolts we have and the way things are. It doesn't work that way. So now then, trying to decipher which one is and which one isn't. That's another chore in itself from that part. So we wonder why things cost so much, because we want to have all the thrills and all the funs and all the stuff.
And then the flip side of that, though, too, is, I mean, these things go forever, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you not to say that you can't have a mechanical breakdown, but, you know, statistically, the vehicles are going many more miles now than they ever have. They're way more reliable now than they ever were. And it really comes down to the maintenance side of things. And if you maintain it, it'll go, it'll drive.
Yep.
I think of repairs that were very commonly made. The other day, I was talking to somebody about a radiator, had a radiator leaking, and I can think, you know, the old brass or brass radiators, or, you know, and you'd take them out and go send them somewhere, have them repaired, have them boiled out. Like, now, to a radiator, unless you smack a deer, like, you really don't get into.
Let's go back to that radiator. You know, blowing it out because it was so full of corrosion, and we didn't realize what was happening back then. It was because it was a pH level so jacked up, just eating away at everything. That's what ate up those radiators. It's still today, that same corrosion is still happening. And that's why we're checking pH that we never checked. We always just took the little syringe, put it down in there, sucked up a little bit of antifreeze, saw how many floats. Hey, we're good. No, oh, no, we're not. We drain a little out, pour half a gallon in to get our freeze point.
Yeah.
But those radiators would plug up so bad and overheat from corrosion, from pH. We had no idea that's what was going on.
Well, I think, I mean, I don't know, even going further back than that is you get cars that overheat and okay, well, let's change the thermostat and put a cooler thermostat in it or whatever.
Or take it out.
Yeah, or take it out, you know, from that side. And now these things are running 210 degrees,
It's
you
normal.
know, and that's normal operation.
Yep.
For sure. So just a lot of it's advanced a long ways for sure.
There is. Delbert updated us here finally. We went to Manchester, Tennessee. We also went to the Lynchburg, Tennessee, to the Jack Daniels Distillery.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you spend in that distillery, Delbert? Sounds like me. I'd have been staying there quite a while if I was you. Stayed at the Broken Banjo RV Park. Got to say the Bronco Sport round trip, 27.8 miles to the gallon. Over 1,800 miles. That's pretty dang good. 27.8 miles to the gallon. Think about that back in the back in my vacation days, my mom and dad, we were getting 12 and 10, 13 miles to the gallon, blowing so much emissions out the back tailpipe. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Big old boats weighing more than 4 of those Bronco Sports weighed probably from that part.
That Lynchburg, Tennessee deal is pretty cool. The town of Lynchburg, Tennessee, I think is like 100 residents, but they've got, I mean, there's a grocery store, a general store, a post office, all the kind of towns, and everything is Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Like Jack Daniels has and owns every one of those entities for sure.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Of course, Jack's probably not alive no more.
No, I can't imagine so. I just remember going out to one of those where they age the barrels.
Oh, yeah.
And it's huge barn. I'm guessing 7-8 stories, something like that. They've got several of them throughout the properties or whatever, and they're a long ways apart from each other. But they take you out there in a tour van and they shut the van off, and you got to walk like the last, I don't know, I'm going to probably over exaggerate this, but maybe quarter of a mile because the alcohol content and fumes in the air, they don't want it to ignite the deal. So you got to walk up there, and then they open up that door and man, it just like woo.
Well, something I haven't ever done. Sound like maybe I need to get to Lynchburg, Tennessee.
It's definitely interesting, but yeah, I thought that was very interesting when they said, okay, we're going to walk from here, just because they don't want the opportunity to ignite the.
Makes sense.
Ignite it.
Makes sense very well. Hey, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you. Anything ailing your cars, tires, brakes, batteries, anything from that part, anything in the racing world. Want to talk about Salt City? Anything at all. You get a great price package, about over $130 for each and every caller.
Got the opportunity this week. Kelly and I went and talked to South High. We've got a very good working relationship with those guys down there, the instructors and the class down there, just about the automotive industry in general. You know, it's they had a pretty decent sized class, and it was very refreshing to see, you know, young individuals that were interested about the industry for sure, and being able to talk with them in regards to the industry, and just kind of answer some of their questions, and, you know, some of the things they were asking just about the industry. It's like intriguing, I guess, from their perspective, what the view of the industry is versus what it actually is as well. And so we've got a couple of those individuals that are kind of come up and do a job shadowing so they just started their second half of this first semester. And so they'll be able to come up here.
Is that a 2-year or 1 year?
So that's actually, so these guys were seniors, the group that we talked to this year. And so, but it's a 2-year program.
Okay.
Or, well, so actually through the high school, they can take the automotive class all 4 years. The first year is more of like a small engines type deal. And then the second year they get into general maintenance, and then kind of junior and senior year is more the automotive side of things.
Gotcha.
Program. So be very interesting to get those individuals up here and kind of help them.
We need to have another contest with them. We had a couple of contests with
What
we did the works package, and then we did the Mountain Balance 4 tires.
We did a tire program. So we've done this both with North and South High, both, and just trying to reiterate it and make it fresh and stuff like that. And it was always very eye-opening to those guys after they had a competition within their class to then have one of our guys be able to do that. And it was a timed event, and just what that proved to them is that there was validity and efficiency, right, and number of footsteps, and being methodical in what you were trying to do and when, because everybody did a pretty dang good job as far as the thoroughness of like the multi-point inspection and got all the items on it. It was just putting it all together and making it efficient.
Yeah,
was really the part of it. And like talking with the instructors, and he's like, it's my job to give them the points of what they need to do and why and the importance of that. But then the efficiency side of it, he says, there's just not enough time for me to, in a school year and number of working days and stuff, to express the importance of the efficiency side of it. It's just something they've got to pick up on their own for sure.
It goes back to my day in Botech school when I went. I did that after high school. Of course, I went to Salina Botech, and there's just so much going on in our world today. That these programs are either 1 year or 2 year programs, and man, there's a lot to feed to these kids to get them up to speed, to get them where they need to be, and like you said, from efficiency to knowing all the stuff, be able to comprehend and read the online stuff. And I mean, it's a lot.
I would even make the argument too that, back when I was in Votech or in this industry, and the amount of knowledge or training that it would take to get you, let's say, industry ready versus today, there's a lot to it. There's especially when it comes to the electronic side of things and understanding what's going on, from that side of things. And one of the things that we talked about in the class or to the class was just the difference between an independent repair facility versus going into a dealer side of things. And we've talked about this many times on the show, and as far as the training and tools and equipment and stuff like that. And one of my big things with these guys, talking to some of these younger classes, is talking about things, when you have a car broke in your stall, if you're in an independent repair facility, you're probably calling a parts house, right, to get that part. It's not a matter, and hopefully they got it. And then, what part house are you calling, and what's the care of that guy to get you the right part, and then the time to get it there versus, in our particular situation, we've got $4.5 million worth of inventory right here that's ready to go on a broke car that's in your stall. And we've got, very educated parts individuals that are, that's what they do. That's their job, is to get you the right part the first time.
Efficiently.
Efficiently from that side of things. And, one of the other things that we talk about is with today's modern vehicles and how advanced they are in technology, and how much of it is equated to, module programming or reprograms or updates and stuff like that, as far as the percentage of repairs that are fixed that way. And I just could not imagine being in an independent environment or an aftermarket world where you don't have that at your disposal or fingertips. Like, how do you fix a vehicle?
Yeah. Like I said, I went to the aftermarket world 1 year and realized I need to get right back into a dealership that fast. I mean, I saw there what it took, the training, the tools, getting the information, back, date myself, that was in the mid 80s. Mm-hmm. But, you could get away with it for a little while, but I knew I was young in my career. I knew where I needed to go. I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew I needed to get back in the dealership to get the right training and get the stuff too. But again, the next store that I went to promised me that stuff, but didn't deliver. And I was frustrated at that point, and I was almost ready to get out of the car business. And luckily I got a guy that saved me and got me into a store that would have the work, had the tools, and would train me. And that's when I knew, that's when I took off and became a very successful technician in this world today. But that's the same thing that has to happen today. The aftermarket world can't get you there. And think about, if I saw that in the mid 80s, think what it is like today. Yeah. The magnitude of that from that standpoint. So I know the world needs these independent repair shops. I just feel sorry for them being able to, what it costs them to run that place, what it costs them to do that. And that's also where some of this myth of the dealerships were so much higher than the independent worlds. And I've talked about that on many shows why that was years ago, but now it's almost flipping the other way around, because when you start looking at
the efficiency side of things
and the dollars that I see coming, because we get so many customers that live away from us or whatever, and have taken it to independent repair shops, and I see some of those repair bills or the invoices or the estimates they estimated up that are so far off base, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But again, that's where in this world of finding the right dealership that you have the relationship with, that's going to take care of you and help you become a great technician. And I think that you and Kelly have put together a phenomenal program that helps us with that quick lane down there to get them in the groove, get them moving. And how many guys have we moved up to?
Oh yeah,
all the way into the main shop now.
Yeah, very much so. And that's something that that we talked about too, is the importance of as you get into this career and advance through the different technical sides of it, and become work on more and more challenging things and more advanced sides of the technology of it. But it's almost like there's several aspects that would deem that somebody's kind of ready to do that. And, one's tools and equipment, the other one's training, the, efficiency plays into that part. If you can't be efficient in the fact of just doing the basic services, right, then we need to spend a little more time in that, and getting you efficient in those steps before doing something more challenging. And so, and everybody, the question always is, okay, well, how long did it go from here to there? And it's just such a variable answer. Or the other side of it is, from our perspective, is, helping these guys get from, say, a entry level technician or an apprentice to a senior master. Everybody is gonna be able to do that on a different timeline based on their needs and abilities and stuff like that. Some guys need help with tools and equipment. Some guys, need help more so with the training side of it. And it's having an employer that recognizes that and is able to work with you in any way or any capacity, and not just one rule of, hey, this is how we do it. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, then you're not going to get there, type deal.
And I'm going to tell you, we're talking about the automobile world, and we're talking about being an auto technician. But last night I was talking to my good buddy over there at Hutch, that is owns an electrician place, and he's fighting the same thing we are, finding the people that want to work, show up on time. But being an electrician takes training too. You got to get trained. You got to stay advanced. You got to stay on top of it. And if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And it's the same scenario. But that's just my conversation I had with him last night at the racetrack during the break and stuff, talking about that different situations about employees and different things. Because we were talking about, running the racetrack and when employees doing what's happening. That's how we kind of led into the conversation. But, if you want to be an electrician, you want to be a technician, you want to be whatever, or plumber, whatever, even a plumber's got to stay advanced.
Certainly.
With all the new electronics that's coming into your house to control your water, control your heaters, control everything else in that part. So it's just an evolving world into computers. And guess where? I'm telling you where I'm at. This new AI that was out years ago wasn't very good, and now it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Where that's going to take us in the next year, next 2 years, next 3 years, next 5 years, I think we're going to be blown away about how much stuff AI is running for us and taking care of stuff for us.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And that's one of the things that we talked about quite a bit with this class, or is just the talking about all the subsections of the vehicle and training. We spent quite a bit of time on training, because that seemed to be quite a driving factor for the students, or stuff that they were interested in. And but Ford obviously has manufacturer training for the steering and suspension and brakes, but electrical, the amount of training on the electrical side of it is probably 2/3 the size of any other category.
Yeah.
And we have electrical in our base brakes anymore. We have electronic parking brakes on it, and so you can't get there without
that knowledge and
without having a good base on electrical knowledge. And from me, I've always viewed the electrical somebody that is very efficient in an electrical diagnosis is typically very, very good in their routine flow of diagnosis, just because they mirror each other. I feel or view so much, just because, the flow of diagnostics. And I can't tell you how many repairs that I've been involved in that was fixed just simply off of looking at an electrical diagram, right? And you say, okay, well, this isn't working, but I know I got this here and I got that there. Okay, it's got to be between here and there. And just having a good understanding of that. And then there's sometimes where you'll pull up, especially when you're talking a communication bus or something like that, and you look at it and it's just a plate of spaghettis, and it's like, it makes no sense. I don't know how it works. But the amount of confusion level that brings can be very huge, for sure.
Well, we could dive into that topic for a long, long time, Josh. That's for sure. So anyway, everybody, it's an exciting time in the automobile world. Things are happening very well, evolving so well. But this AI is going to take us into the next level. That's unbelievable what it's going to do for us. I know. I was getting ready to say we were talking about AI in a sales meeting with the salespeople, and talking about what AI is going to do and everything. And this one salesperson said, "Hey, well, I think AI is going to replace us." And I said, "Hold on a minute. Can AI take a test drive? Can AI show all the feature benefits and advantages on the car? Can AI really sit down and figure out which car that customer needs? But can AI help us do some things in the automobile world? Yeah. Where it's going to evolve or what's going to happen, I have no idea. I remember when these things came out, and I said, not a smartphone, I said the flip phones come out, and I says, just wait. Within 5 years, we're going to carry a handheld computer in our hand. Well, it was 2.
Yeah.
We had our first smartphone hanging in our hands. So where AI is going to take us, I don't know. It's going to blow us all away. Where it's going to take us, what it's going to do, that part. But if AI cannot replace a human, cannot do it.
Well, and on the technical side, I mean, I think AI. So the conversation of AI and the ability for a computer or a piece of diagnostic equipment to ever have the ability to completely be able to diagnose and fix a vehicle, I don't think will ever happen.
Can AI going to be a help a technician diagnose a car? Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, you have that now, and in the example that what you were talking about with the individual going to the aftermarket parts store and having their vehicle scanned, right? So they scan it, they put that code into typically probably a software that they've purchased that out of all the repairs in their network with this code, this is statistically the most probable repair for it. And so they're just doing it in numbers. But I'm here to tell you, I've been involved in a lot of situations that there's numbers never would have got it fixed. I can think of chasing I don't even remember what the heck it was I was chasing, but I chased it for a long time, and it happened to be a little pinhole in a wiring harness that, and the odds of that being the number one cause, no.
AI is not going to fix that for you.
They're never going to get there, and so do I think it's a huge tool and a great benefit? I do, but I also believe that the people that understand that it's just a aiding tool and not an answer are going to be far more advanced with it than the people that are using it for an answer.
True. Well, anyway, hey, Josh, we're kind of running out of time already this morning. Kyler Fetters, good morning, Kyler. Glad you're up and about, buddy. We got another exciting night at Salt City with the hey, looks like we got Kyler calling in. Let's get Kyler on the phone here. I'm sure Kyler wants to talk about night 2 of the Salt City Racing ASCS race at the Kansas State Fairgrounds, and also the stock cars that put on a great show last night. So let's get Kyler patched in here and see what's on Kyler's mind this morning. It was kind of a good night. We got done about 10:30, which was great. But I will tell you, Josh, it was very weird last night. And not having a race car of my own
what I was
that
wondering.
Racetrack.
Yeah.
Nick and I looked at each other like, dang.
What do we do?
It was a much more easier night for Nick and I from that part too, taking care of the races and make sure everything was running the way it needed to run and stuff too. So
what do I do with my hands?
Something like that, right? So we'll see what's on Kyler's mind here this morning, and hopefully we can get him patched in here.
What time do they kick off tonight?
Gates pits open at 3, gates open at 5, and racing starts at 7:30. So really, I would be if I was somebody coming to watch, I would probably be in the stands around 6:30 or so. So you can check out all the hot laps and all the stuff that's going to be kicking off there too. And of course, qualifying will kick off too for the ASCS because they're running another complete show tonight too. So
very good. Well, excuse me. Let's go to the phones and talk to Kyler. Good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
Perfect.
You're up awful early, Kyler.
Did you know that it's daylight this time of day?
Every day.
It is?
Yeah,
It's
not just
normal,
yeah,
it's like a freak thing that happens.
Yeah.
Not just special today, buddy.
What a race last night, huh? In that stock car?
Yeah, we had some good stock car races. That one heat race we had to really go back and figure out how they finished. There was 4 of them come across that finish line. Any one of them could have won that race. It was a great race. But Kyler, hats off to you and your track officials taking care of that racetrack. Everybody's talked about how great a racetrack it was last night, and I can't wait to see if we improve it just a little bit more, how much better it's going to be.
Yeah, and night 2 is always a little bit better, and I've talked with ASCS officials, and I still think we should have probably ran those 2 stock car qualifier features before the sprint cars. I think it would have widened the track out a little bit more. Maybe blew it off, but I'll tell you what, she was smooth, she was hard. I looked at tires. I don't think we hurt a tire last night.
I didn't see one either, Kyler. I looked and I didn't see nothing either. I looked at every.
It's just wing car. I'll tell you what, wing cars on a half mile. That's what you can get. Okay, and I don't know why that is. You look at Eldora, some of those other places, it does the same thing. It takes a little bit to widen out. But I think tonight I talked to Cody, and we're going to run that stock car feature first. And I think you're going to see a lot wider of a racetrack for the sprint cars. But we couldn't get any wider with the stock cars. Them guys were 2 and 3 wide. It's crazy how.
Yeah, and they did a lot of passing on the second groove, not the first groove.
Well, and I'll tell you, you hate to say this, but the track was almost too good for sprint cars because they got out there and they were hammered down, man. And we set 2 track records last night. I think it was Sam Hayfrey picked up the track record first in qualifying, and then Whit Gastineau picked it up and beat it again through qualifying. So they were zinging.
Yeah, it was those 360 cars. I can't get over how much different they sound than a 305. I didn't really think there'd be that much difference, but of course, I think the grandstand set and that roof over that thing has a lot to do with it too.
It was during qualifying. I went up to the flag stand and stood up there for just a minute. Phil, you need to go up there tonight and check that out.
All right.
A couple laps during qualifying. I'll tell you what, they're going so fast to rip the sign off the flag stand.
Yeah,
but
we're going
to blame that either.
We're
going to blame that either on the speed or Nick, one of the two.
No. I'm almost certain I know who mounted that sign up there.
It was Nick. Nick did it yesterday. So Nick felt terrible, I would tell you that. But it was probably good. Probably about the ultimate time for a caution, though. Let's put it that way.
Well, it was, and I'll tell you that just the standing up there and feeling the air coming off the wings, you got to do it tonight. It's unreal.
Well, I stood there for the first. What would have been? Oh, the pole dash. And so just 6 of them out there, and I was underneath the flag stand, standing back about 4 feet. In the rush of wind that comes by as those guys go by, it's unbelievable. That was just 6 cars, let alone putting 21 of them out there.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I think we're learning that racetrack, and we're finding out what we can do with it, and it's getting better and better each time. And I think until we get some different soil on there, that's unfortunately what we're going to have to deal with. That silt on that thing, but we're learning. We're learning unless we can find out a new trick to get rid of that. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited for tonight.
No,
It'll be a good one.
it's going to be a good race. Everybody, you don't want to miss it. You need to get over there to the fairgrounds and have some fun. We got complete another show for the ASCS car. Hey, the other thing is, are they going 30 laps tonight, or do you know if they're still, because it was 20 last night? I was thinking it was 30 tonight.
Well,
you know?
I think they're going 30. I think they are going 30, and then we'll run 20 on the stock cars.
Yeah.
Is that right? Are we running 15 or 20? I think 20 tonight.
We're going to do 20. I talked to Lonnie last night, and he wants to watch the racetrack and see. I said, I'd love to run a 25 lap feature for the stock cars, but he says, we need to make sure how the track's going to hold and stuff. So we'll get together, you and I and Lonnie and Nick will get together and kind of determine the actual,
right,
how many laps of stock cars, but they'll go. We'll just have to see how the guys go. Jesse and Jason will get that racetrack dialed in real good today, I know, and put some more moisture back in that thing a little bit. But really, I drove around a little bit there last night. The moisture was still pretty good. Just had that little bit of black entered in 3 and 1, but other than that, the track was perfect, nice and smooth. That's what everybody said, nice and smooth.
Yeah, no, and that's important. And then I also noticed the crowd. It started out, I felt like kind of light. But as the night went on, I think a lot more people rolled in even after heat races. I think maybe they were getting done with football and coming out. So tonight we should see a really good crowd in the stands. It was funny. Somebody mentioned we had homecoming this way, homecoming that way.
We had 3 home games. We had Hutch, Nickerson, and Bueller, all within a 10-mile radius of us.
That's hurt. Yeah.
And I get it. High school football's there, but tonight's the night. Everybody needs to come out to the Kansas State Fairgrounds and have some great food and cold beverages from Carrie and Charlie's gang there at the fairgrounds and have some fun.
Yeah, no, but it's going to be a great night, and same start times they're telling us. So, and who would have thought yesterday it got kind of warm? We hadn't had temperatures like that for a while too. It was beautiful.
Here it is. October. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week we've got USAC back in Dodge City after 14 years of not being there. So hopefully we can continue the nice weather and get everybody out for the USAC sprint cars. That'll be a fun show. I'll tell you, I wonder what those sprint cars, the USAC sprint cars, would be like on the half mile. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh,
they drive a lot different than the USAC car, but USAC cars are cool.
Yeah, I thought about the same thing as what those cars would sound like on that half mile.
Oh man, big 410s. I'd be sure.
What do you have left for Dodge City?
Yeah, so that's it. October 17th, we have the USAC show, and then the 25th of October we have our banquet, and then we're going to hit it hard, and we've got some projects that we're going to do over the winter to get ready for next year, and got some big announcements to make here in the next month or so as far as schedules go. It's going to be another great season, and look forward to it. And of course, we'll be announcing some of the stuff that we've got going on next year at Salt City as well. So, everybody thinks the winter time is kind of our off time, and it is, but it's when
not really.
Like sometimes that's when we do the most work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's almost turned into where there's no off season for us here.
What?
It's almost turned into where there's no off season.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that makes it tough. But I'll tell you, man, we just started this race season. I feel like,
me too.
It's already over.
I feel the same way. I think we just started it, and here it is. We're winding it down.
Well, and then I don't know too the way the weather's been, and to have as much fortune as you have over at Salt City for sure in that type of climate is huge.
Yeah, Kyler, did you have a rain out this year?
Oh yeah, I've had 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. So we only had the one at Salt City, so that's why I couldn't remember how many you had or whatever either.
Yeah, we got our high limit show got weathered out because it was in the 30s, and that's you never know. You never know having a show in early April like that.
Sure.
The last couple of years it's been great, and this year it's just a little too cold. But if people listening, if you haven't seen USAC sprint cars, and they are different beasts from the Silver Crown, go check out some of the videos we have on Dodge City's Facebook page or USAC's racing right now. It's they're in full swing with the USAC sprint cars, and they've got a lot of tight points battles. I'll tell you what, it's going to be wheel to wheel slide job city. It's going to be pretty awesome.
It will be. Them guys that run them 410s are just crazy, in my opinion. But
and then we're paired with Marcus down at Route 66. So Friday night they'll be in Dodge. Saturday night they'll be down in Amarillo. So just a short hop from Dodge. I think it's like 3.5 hours down to Amarillo. So not a hard pull. And they're telling us we should have a really, really good car count. Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. Like I said, then we got our banquet at Hutch on November 1st. So,
yeah, November 1st for Salt City. Yep.
You got me working pretty hard the next couple of weeks. So.
And then we had the Texas Motor Speedway.
And I'm so excited about that. I talked to Kenny Brown just this week, and he's excited to have us go down there and duel against the Rev and with the Rebel late models. We partnered with them on the Power Eye sanctioning this year with the Rebels, and that show is going to be amazing because I think we have the arms with the Heartland guys. We've got the Power Eye 410 sprints, and they're pulling a great number of 410 sprints. And then you got late models, and at a beautiful place like Texas Motor Speedway, at the dirt track. That place is awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, so can't wait to get there for that. That's going to be a fun time for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it'll be great. So we're going to get out to the racetrack.
You think about it. So that's November, December, January, February, March. There's racing. I mean, it's right back at it.
Ain't that crazy? It used to be you didn't start racing probably until school was out or after Memorial Weekend, really,
Yep.
And state track.
Yeah.
And then now everybody there's no off season because a lot of these drivers are going straight into the Chili Bowl,
Yep.
in January,
Yep.
or the shootout, in December, or the Dome early December for a lot of our open wheel modified and late model guys. There's not a lot of turnaround anymore.
Nope. Just go.
Kind of kudos to the engine builders and all that because we don't think we have an off season anymore. These engine builders damn sure don't.
Yeah, sure don't.
They're
they
going
don't.
they're going nonstop.
Yep.
Nonstop. I was talking to Ty Householder and Craig Myers the other night with Myers Engine. They're putting out about 60 engines, 305, just 305, not their 360 program or stock cars, all that. They're putting about 60 Race Saver motors out a year.
Man, it's more than one a week.
Yeah,
let on top of everything else they're doing.
Phenomenal. And they do everything, but I'm like that's phenomenal, and I feel like we see our car counts kind of declining a little bit in as where they were 20 years ago, but with that number of motors going out, where are they all at? We're spread out through all the whole United States,
Yeah.
But, no, I'll tell you what, I kudos to those stock car guys. They came out in droves this year to Salt City.
They did. And they put on a great show every week in every race. I mean, and they put on a great show last night too.
I really want to tailor that next year to the stock car guys at here in Dodge because I really think they put on one of the best shows in racing. Like they do.
Yep.
And last night, I will tell you, they drove clean.
They did.
We didn't
I don't think we had one. We had a couple cautions for some spin out stuff, but we didn't have any cars tore up or anything.
One of the guys I was impressed with, I'm going to get his name wrong. Tanner Tile, am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Seal, that 3
Tile.
car.
Yeah, 3T.
I'll tell you what, that kid's going to be really good because I was watching him and I'm like, oh, don't do it. Like, don't bump and run. He backed off when he should. He put his nose in there. Mike Peterson is another one. John Allen. They all raced each other really clean, and it's not like the hobby stocks. And now everywhere you go, the hobby stocks, they kind of beat and bang. But I think a lot of that too is they don't have the quick steering boxes, like the better steering, so I think a lot of that's just kind of race car related. But these guys, man, they are respectful. They brake when they should, but they still make it some darn good wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah, all those guys, pretty much every one of those guys were very respectful of each other's cars and drove clean and
they were
in all the races.
It
was really good. There could have been some tore up cars and trying to beat and bang on each other, but they didn't. I think everybody's respectful of that part. And it's kind of like I told Jake and Dakota Sproul, when those guys raced together in the modifieds, I mean, those guys could race door to door. And I don't think I ever seen Jake and Dakota Sproul ever hit each other, but whoever finished first or second, they get out and high five each other and go on. And it's kind of like Peter Silly and Tanner Tile. They can race side by side, not touch each other, and have respect. And we're pointing those two guys out, but it's that whole stock car class has done a great job this year.
It really is.
Of respecting each other and playing nice.
Yeah. I'll address last night. We had DQ'd somebody on the skills, and tonight, we may look at doing some, setting the officials all down and having a little talk about that.
We need just to have a little better communication and better stuff. And I think we need to talk to the drivers a little bit about it too. And
I hope all the drivers that, and I felt bad for that kid that was in fifth that we had go ahead and stop at the skills. But there was darn sure miscommunication in that deal. And I think tonight, there's so much passion in it. I think nobody got out of hand or anything with
absolutely not. There was a lot of respect there and stuff too.
There was a lot of respect, but tonight I think you're going to see some darn good racing. We're going to start tonight with the redraw, I believe, in front of the grandstands. So we'll redraw the top 8 that locked themselves in last night to where they'll start for the dash, and then we'll be heads up out of the dash. So there's 8 good cars going into that dash tonight. That's going to be a little feature in its own. I guarantee you.
It will be.
That ain't going to be a single file race.
Yeah, it will be a great race.
Yeah. Those guys, they are so even in that class. It blows me away.
Yep, 100%.
I wish we could get our late models to where they were as even across the board as our stock car division is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're so even, and didn't we have a mixture of some cars last night between some of the IMCA stuff and some of the other superstars?
Before you got on the show, I looked at the tires and it was a 50-50 split between American Racer and Hoosiers on both features, both of them 50-50. So that's good to see too, that both tires are comparable and compatible and everything else. And I had a couple guys tell me when they race Salina, and when they go to 81, they leave the Hoosiers on. They don't switch over to the American Racers, and they're still competitive. So that's great that those two tires can be that competitive with that class.
Yeah, no, and that's great. That's kind of what it was designed to be. Those stock car being that level playing field. Of course, as anything, everything gets out of hand when it comes to racing. but I think that was pretty level playing field last night. So hopefully we can pick up a couple more stock cars being Saturday.
Yep.
And just make it even better.
Exactly. Well, anyway, Kyler, we're out of time, buddy. We need to.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time to talk with me.
Thanks for being on here with us this morning. Let's have a great race tonight. Everybody, get your fans, get your family, get your neighbor, get your friends, whoever, over to the Kansas State Fairgrounds. Let's go have some fun. It's the last race of the year for 2025. I can't believe I'm saying that already. Kyler, I know your guys are working on the track, getting it prepped up, ready to go. They did a fantastic, Jason and Jesse last night. And I can't think of the young man there that also is helping putting the track together. I know you worked hard on early in the week with the grader stuff too, but I know they're probably working on it right now to have us another great racing surface over there and stuff too. So
yep. So,
everybody get over
appreciate you guys.
Yep, appreciate you too, Kyler. Let's have a great night. Let's have a lot of fun. Everybody get to the fairgrounds and let's watch this last race.
See you guys.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you over at the Kansas State Fairgrounds. Everybody have a great Saturday.